Hello, myself Sunil Ramakrishna. Here, basically, we are discussing about topic that is cities creation. In this, basically, we are discussing about the most dangerous topic that is 20% error, and that is actually error. That is error basically. In this, basically, we are talking about one topic. This is also very dangerous topic. One of the person told that basically, yeah, basically in USA, one disease has started. Then one of the person told that basically to reach up to India, basically how many time it is going to take. Then basically that need to check with the power department basically and the nuclear power department basically. Then they do that. But what about if the people basically comes inside the city who are basically infected? Then he told that basically then basically it's very dangerous basically. The reason is they are coming, but the power supply has not came, but the plane has came na basically. Plane basically is connected with the satellite. That means the country's power supply already entered into that city basically. That time basically it will create problem. So one of the person told that basically. For example, Vadodara city gets power data for how many days, for how many months basically in advance. Then one of the person told that the nuclear power company gives Vadodara city 2 months power supply data in advance basically. So this basically was answer basically given by one person. One of the person told that basically for India basically how many days basically it takes, how many days in advance basically they give the data basically. That basically is very dangerous question basically. For Vadodara city basically, for one city basically it's 2 months basically, right? So for country basically also it might be at least basically it might be 3 months before basically. So 3 months advance basically data each and every country gets in advance basically. That is related to the each and every home basically which the data they are getting. So 3 months before basically 3 months after whatever things basically are going to come. For example, one person is having some diabetes data, right? So he basically is going to whatever get data, that basically whatever things basically he is going to eat, right? Basically, according to the whatever things he is going to eat, whatever he is going to have the consumption of the human needs, sorry, of the human needs data, that only is going to get. But here the one of the person told that basically what about that data basically, that is diabetes equal to created from 1,000 cities, that also basically data might be coming na basically. Then he told that yes basically, yeah, that data also basically might be coming. So for that basically how basically he should prepare basically. Then he one of the doctor basically told that basically he should keeps on changing the diet basically. Like this basically changing the diets, it might not get effect basically too much basically. And medicine basically he have to take, and periodically the medicine basically data keeps on changing. That database basically the power supply company have, and the medical department also keeps the updated data only basically. So this way basically he can save basically. So one of the person told that basically just now you told that basically the sequence of the power supply is 2 months before the data basically gets. Then he told that yes basically 2 months before the one city basically gets the data. So country gets the data 3 months before. So 3 months basically the India basically have the time basically, right? Then he told that yes basically. But what about the plain data basically they are getting? That basically you can't do anything basically. That only you can do one thing, that is uh, stay in mask basically. That is the only solution basically. stay in mask, that is the only solution basically. Then one of the person told that basically, what about just now basically one earthquake basically happened. That was see basically this earthquake. For example, this earthquake happened. Then after this earthquake, this sequence generated. This generated. So this somebody is generating or basically directly, really basically this type of earthquake is happening basically. That basically one of the question basically was asked by the one of the person. Reason behind is this earthquake basically controls are with whom basically. So he told that basically the power supply data na basically. It's a power supply data. For example, in this world basically, for example, I will take example of India only basically. In India basically how many sector basically have the authority to give the power supply in city basically. Then one of the person told that basically the Bollywood industry have the authority in India basically. Bollywood industry is there, software industry have, government have the high authority. Then basically the electronic department basically, then basically the industrial group basically have the authority. That means they can pass the data in between basically. The god industry, this sorry the god group basically, that is the temples group basically. Temples group basically are there. Temples groups also basically can pass the data. Then basically the temples and the mosque group is there. Then basically the church groups are there basically there. Then the Parsi Gary groups basically are there. This group basically can pass the data anytime basically they want to pass. So one of the person told that who have the high authority basically power. That is basically only the World Health Organization. They are above than the all basically. So just now basically the earthquake basically came. That was basically came on the base of whom basically. Then one of the person told that basically they need to check here basically. Literally basically directly basically you can't dump the any of the data and then basically you say that basically earthquake has happened here basically. That you can't be able to do now. The live data should be there basically. Then he told that basically yes, yeah, basically you are correct. So one of the person told that basically these all are the group basically who gets the authority to give the power supply data anytime basically. That means there is no system basically, there is nothing basically, but the data basically which they are passing, that is for 2 months. 2 months advance basically they have data they have got. So for 2 months basically the movies which is going to come, that is also they have prepared that within these 2 months basically we are going to pass this or we are going to give this all movies, and this whole movie environment basically we are going to create in the environment basically. This will be the song basically which we are going to create. So this all are data basically we are going to create. So that advanced data basically we have basically. Then it was that yes basically yeah. Advanced data basically we have basically. So one of the person told that basically is this is connected with the education error also. Then he told that how basically that is connected. 220% error basically how that is connected with the advanced data which has came basically. Then basically he thought little bit basically and told that basically what should be the answer of this basically. Because sometimes sudden earthquake also comes basically. That means sometimes suddenly earthquake also comes in the any of the city basically. That basically how basically happens. Then he told that basically that is basically on the base of the on the base of the suddenly passed power data basically. But that power data basically you can't say that basically that will be 100% pure data only basically. It might convert into the conflict also. So that data basically kept in the format of doubtful data basically. The data in the doubtful format basically. That if you pass this data basically then anything basically can happen. It can happen. It can convert to earthquake also. If passing you are passing this data basically on emergency base basically you are passing this data. Bollywood groups basically have data. IT industry, each and every god groups, they all basically have data and they basically gets the information that if you are passing this type of data then basically it might possible that earthquake basically can happen basically. In next video basically we are going to see little bit more about this.